Yo, what's up guys, it's Pelican here, back with another video. Real quick before we go ahead and get this started, just want to go ahead and say, if you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, it's super appreciated. Supports the channel, all the great stuff. But yeah, so I went ahead and have this Dragon Link deck here. I went ahead and went to PPG, last weekend. Entered their case tournament, got second place. Deck performed amazingly. I only didn't get first because I didn't see the line of play that I was supposed to do, and I didn't end on a strong enough board, and we were in time. The time rules were sudden death, so I couldn't protect my Union carrier, and that was rough. But yeah, other than that, I probably would have got first place without it. But even then, this deck performed super well. I was very happy with it. There's very few hands where I was like, I can't do anything. Because really, I could play the entire tournament. It was just, a little rough towards the end, in finals where, we're in, like I said, sudden death. And, I had to figure out how to protect my Union carrier playing through hand traps and stuff like that. But, yeah. But let's go into the deck profile real quick. So, we have 3 Black Metal Dragon, 3 Seyfried. Best starters in your deck, obviously. 1 card combos for the most part. And this guy recycles Legionnaire every turn, so I make sure he's always there, like in the grave. And then, of course, we have 2 Knock Division. I was playing 3 before because I always wanted to try to draw this card because he's chain blocks for Romulus. But, 2 of this card was also good, and I wanted to try to slim this deck down so I could see more of my starter cards and stuff like that. And then we're playing 2 Tracer and 1 Recharger. The third was excessive, and to be honest, I would rather search the card than open it, if I'm being honest. But, with 2 Tracer, 3 Quick Launch, and Absoluter, I feel like 6 of them, 6 of them is more than enough. We're always going to see them, And then we're playing 1 Red Rose and 1 White Rose for the Hulk combo so we can get free cards. And, we can make Herald, effect summon this, yada, yada, yada. And these are also Dragon Tuners, which is another thing. Well, he's not a tuner, but he summons himself as a Dragon Tuner. But they're both dragons, which is really important. So you can use them for combos if you really have to. And then 1 Phalanx, because you have to play the brick for Romulus. 1 Brochar, because this card's insane. Summoning this during your opponent's turn off spheres was really good. And, being able to search Legionnaire, Seyfried, or something like that was pretty free, to be honest with you. And he also brings himself back when something's destroyed on your field, which is really cool as well. And then for last brick, Buster Lock, because this deck needs this, because this is just too free, And then White and Black Dragon, these cards are broken, that is a fact. And then Chaos Dragon Legionnaire, Redum, and Absoluter for our big boys. This card is just crazy, especially if you pitch it off Chaos Space. You just feel like you're ruling the world. Chaos Space searching for the white one, and then effects search your Rokket. It just feels so nice. Even with Dragon Ravine, it's still pretty good. But Chaos Space is definitely the better one. For hand traps, we're playing 3 Gamma, and obviously the driver, and then 3 Nibiru and 3 Imperm. The only card I missed that I don't have in here is Ash, because Dino matchups are rough. They're always rough, especially because they get to play all the good, going second cards and stuff like that. Even then, just Misk is really good. And I wanted to play Ash so I could at least Ash the baby, or Ash the pill, Ash the miscellaneous engrave, something, as an overall, these were fine though. I didn't worry too much about it. Ash really didn't come up, and when it did, usually these solved the issues. Like Gamma and Imperm, I wasn't too worried about it. For the most part, definitely would want to play in the future, but yeah. And then for our spells, Triple World Legacy Guard Dragon, Quick Launch, and Triple Chaos Space. Best extenders in the deck. Opening, even multiples of this is really okay, and opening any of these just feels so good. You just feel like you can play through the world. This deck can easily play through 2 disruptions, and can play through a third if you open enough extenders. And if it can't play through the third, you at least get something. You'll get spheres, sometimes Borlo with a Buster Lock. There's a lot you can still do, which is what's crazy about this deck. The deck is definitely going to get hit, but I think they're going to hit the end board so they can keep selling products. So I'll probably play this deck till it's right into the ground. Field spell bricks, we're playing 1 Boot Sector launch and 1 Ravine. Boot Sector is just broken. Being able to bring back rockets every turn is just way too good. Summoning from the hand is really free as well, but this card is bringing back rockets every turn. It really helps in the grind games. The only thing that really is a little, I guess, off about this deck that I don't like, and this is just every Dragon Link deck, you go through most of your extra deck. So grind games are a little rough, but Chaos Space does help with that, letting you shuffle in your power cards and stuff like that, which is really nice. Shuffle in Boros Savage, Sword, LP, Pissy, whatever you really want, which is really nice. But yeah, and then for the last 2 spells, Divine Lance, because this card I've ripped up like 4 of these so far, because I drew this card at least, I want to say, once every game for each match. And there was a total of what? It was 5 rounds, and then so it was 8 rounds. I drew this card at least once every match, and I knew I drew it at least 2 times a couple of those matches. But I don't have to activate Romulus, which is really cool. I play around Gamma, and sometimes if I know they're not playing Gamma, I activate it still so they can Ash it or Imperm, and I'm like, oh, I already have this card. It's fine. But most of the time, I wasn't activating it just because, I'm not trying to get Gammaed, things like that. Because I already opened this, there's no reason to be activating. But yeah, and then the last one, which is last card I just really wanted to play, which is Feather Duster, because this card's a blowout card. Against the Eldritch deck, against the PK deck, this card's free. I did get 2nd place. Unfortunately, I lost in the last round because, I'll be honest, the pressure got to me a bit. There was a lot of people around us too, so that didn't help. And we were in sudden death time. I had to make my board. I went first, which is really good, but at the end of the day, it was just a little rough playing it, and I had to play through it was like 2 hand traps, and then I ended on Busterlock with Boros Savage, and I found out that I could have done the whole combo still, apparently. And I was like, it's whatever. And any damage is lethal. So he just, what I had was Boros Savage in defense mode, Union Carrier there. He sort of normal summons Tour Guide and negate it. He droplets, and then I lose. But yeah, I definitely could have won that, but this deck really overperformed, and I was really happy with it. Just done really well. I was playing against I played against Dino twice. I played against the Mirror, PK, Prank Kids, Virtual World I drew with. Played against Eldritch. Yeah, this deck was just great. But to the extra deck, 2 Striker deck and pretty straightforward. And this card with Recharge is really good, especially going turn 2 or turn 3 or whatever, because what you can do is if Redum's in your grave or something like that, and this is just to get free guys on board. You can use Striker Dragon Effect, pop himself, and then add this back, and then use his effect, which is, if one of your monsters is destroyed, that was special from the extra deck, that's Dark, you can pitch him from your field or hand and special summon a different one from your grave. So you can make him pop himself, and then add this effect, pitch it, and then summon Redum, and then use his effect, summon Reborn Any Dragon, which is crazy. That interaction is really good. And it does come up a lot, especially when you're trying to get just more boys on the board. And I love decks that get the boys out, as you guys know. So yeah. And then we have Pitsy, LP. This card is crazy, disgusting. I think he'll live into the list, unfortunately. But I really like this deck, so I hope it doesn't get hit. Link Ross, of course, for the combo. And that's really it for the Link 1s. These are all pretty standard. And then for Link 2s, we have the generic Link 2 Dragon, which is really important because there's a lot of situations where you need to get rid of LP and Pitsy. And this is how you get rid of them. Spheres, because he's part of your end board. There was actually a card I really have been wanting to play for a long time, but I can never find it. More like I just keep forgetting about it. Like forgetting to ask. It was it's a promo from one of the previous Megatins, but when it's a dragon, like a level 5, and it's a pendulum monster, when it's summoned, you banish a card on the field. It's either a monster or a card on the field. And just effective spheres, bounce, and then summon, effect, banish. That would have definitely helped me in that game against the against in the finals as well. This that would just be crazy. And I think I've been wanting to play it for a while. I just always keep forgetting to ask people to get it, and I don't want to buy it from TCG because I don't know how much longer I can be playing this deck. I'll probably still gonna play it after the list anyway, but for the most part, that's the one card I really wanted to add was that. But yeah, and then our other Link 2s, of course, Romulus, Hulk, and Union Carrier. He carried us the entire way. Another really good thing about him as well is if he lives past turn 1 and your opponent doesn't scoop, you're gonna equip Safrite and then like to himself link it off or something, like maybe your Bulbasaur, and then you Safrite, add back Levianair, and then you recycle your Levianair, which is really good. A lot of times he does live, so you're gonna be able to do that a lot. But Safrite, just being able to get back Levy every turn, is just way too good. And then for our Link 4s, Saryuya and Bulbasaur. Now, this card is one of the best extra deck extenders, besides the standard stuff. I say this because it does help you play, when you're going through Nibiru and stuff like that. It can get the boys out from your hand, and drawing 4 cards is insanely good. Putting back like the Buster Lock if you draw it, or putting back bricks you don't want. And this card is especially good game 2 and 3 when you want to see your side deck cards, and that's really the reason why I play him, is because game 2 and 3, I want to, how do I say, draw my side deck cards. So if I don't draw them, I make this so I could see cards like Anti-Spell, Lancia, Droll, stuff like that to stop my opponent. And that was the reason. And then Bulbasaur's pretty straightforward. He's just a kill card. He's the kill card. He makes everything easier. And that's really it for the Links. And then for the Synchros, Metal Marcher, of course, Herald, and Savage. As an overall, the deck was really great, performed really well, it felt really good. There was, I only had one hand where I was like, wow, this hand is garbage. And I still comboed it. I drew literally every brick in the deck, but thank God every brick in the deck can still summon themselves for free. So, it's like, whatever. But yeah, the deck was super fun. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. It's super appreciated. And if you are returning, I do have a second channel. I'm going to link it in the description below, where I'm going to be doing other stuff besides Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans like that. So if you want to go ahead and support me, go ahead and subscribe there too. It's super appreciated. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.